BookTube, it's Jade from Boho Bookworm. I'm doing the NaNoWriMo tag today and I wasn't tagged by anyone, but I will leave the original creator down below, and that was Christina Horner. The first question is, how many times have you done NaNoWriMo before? I have never done NaNoWriMo before. I've always wanted to for as long as I can remember. I've been seeing people doing NaNoWriMo for years, and it's something I've just always been interested in taking part in, but I was always so busy working because normally November, December is my busiest time at work. But since my whole lifestyle change of moving away from South Africa and moving to Spain and working on the yachts, November is now winter and that's quiet, so I have all the time in the world to do NaNoWriMo this year, and I'm really excited because it's my first time. The second question is, how did you first find out about NaNoWriMo? I honest to God do not remember. Probably through YouTube, I guess, but it could have been through anything. I have wanted to be a writer since I was 3 years old, so I guess I must have figured it out somehow that it was an event where you had to write a novel in a month. I'm crazy about writing, so it must have just popped up somewhere. Question number 3 is, what was the name of the first novel that you decided to try with NaNoWriMo? I haven't done it before, as I've already said, but this year the novel that I'm going to be working on is called The Eulogy. Give us a one-sentence summary of what you'll be writing this year. My book is about a woman called Liz who is starting to have nightmares about her husband that are really scaring her. So she decides to start snooping around one day when he's at work, and what she finds on his laptop petrifies her. He has written a eulogy that he is intending to read at her funeral. Question number 5 is, what is the best writing advice that you have ever been given? Write about writer's block. Just as long as you're writing, write about what writer's block feels like. Just keep hammering words out of yourself and it'll come back to you. And honestly, it's true. You just got to work through it. Don't force it, but just try and write every day if you can. And writing about writer's block and what it feels like for you and how you intend to overcome it, or how it's making you feel, that's like, you know, it's still writing, it's good, and I think that's really good advice. Question number 6 is, have you ever taken a year off of NaNoWriMo and why? I've never taken part before, but I've always wanted to. I was never able to because of work. Question number 7 is, what is your biggest inspiration when it comes to what you want to write? I hate this question. Honestly, have absolutely no idea. Whatever I've ever written just kind of comes to me. Like, my first book is about being a single mother, premature labour, living in Italy, doing yoga, like all sorts of stuff that I know absolutely bugger all about, but somehow I wrote an entire book about it. I don't know, it just happened. The second book is about being a mistress, which, yes, is based on a true story, but yeah, so that one I can kind of get where my inspiration came from, but it has its own life to it. It's not all purely just true, it's fiction too. The eulogy, I don't know, it wasn't even a dream, it just kind of came to me. And there's this thing, Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, she wrote another book which I recently finished called Big Magic, and she has this theory that ideas for novels and writing are just floating around in the universe and they kind of choose us. And sometimes, you know, if you ever have like a moment where you're like, wow, that's such a good idea, but then you try and get to a pen and a paper and you're not quick enough, and that idea or that sentence or anything, any piece of writing that you had in your mind that inspired you is just like gone out the window, and it's because that idea's gone on to someone else. And I kind of think that that's really true, and I feel like maybe those ideas just also come to me. That sounds really like whimsical and strange, but I kind of believe it. Do you? Next question is, read us the first sentence from one of your books. I'm going to read you 2. The one that I'm going to be working on in NaNoWriMo. This is all going to change because I'm going to be completely restarting it. I've only written 16 pages of it, so I'm going to completely rework it, and I'm not really happy with the introduction anymore anyway. But this is what the eulogy's first sentence right now is in the introduction. A gypsy adorned with a dozen different patterned scarves and intricate jewellery sat across a cloth-covered table from me. Full stop. And then I've got, where is it? my book, The Other Woman, and that introduction, the first sentence is chapter indexes, all that junk in the front. Tabitha's fingers drummed onto the steering wheel of her Jeep as it puttered along the silent sandy road to the beach. And that's it. They are the first two sentences from two of my books. The last question is, why do you love writing? Asking a writer why they love writing is like asking a normal person why they love breathing, because it makes me live. It fills my life with so much joy and happiness. It is my air, it's my oxygen, it is my everything. Writing, it allows me to escape from whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm going through. I can just let everything pour out of me, and it's wonderful. I love writing, I always will, I always have, and that's it. Like, you can't sum up why a writer loves writing, I'm sorry, but you can't. I'm not going to tag anyone in this because I don't know who else is as big on NaNoWriMo as I am, but if you are going to be taking part in NaNoWriMo and you want to do this tag, then please go ahead and do it. Have a good day, guys. Ciao!